Hi, welcome to our Grounding Your Energy yoga workshop. And we're going to start today with a little breathing exercise that helps to bring your body back into balance, and then a short meditation where we'll ground our energy. Then I'm going to talk a little bit for about 20 minutes about what grounding means and why it's important and its health benefits and how you can ground. And then we'll do some yoga and some qigong to ground our energy well and truly, and finish with a relaxation. So that's the plan. So I just want to begin. One of the yoga breathing techniques that's really good for bringing the two channels that run up your spine associated with the chakras into balance. They're called the nadis, and the channels are the Ida and the Pingala, and they terminate here in your Ajna chakra. And when we do something called alternate nostril breathing, we bring those into perfect balance, and it's a very good way of quite quickly aligning our energy vertically. And once we have that vertical alignment, we can then ground our energy really effectively. So you're going to need to be able to breathe through your nose. And if you just place your two fingers here, and you're going to, I don't know if you can see, you're going to alternatively close a nostril as we breathe. So if you begin by closing the left nostril and breathing in through the right, then you close the right and breathe out through the left. Then breathe in through the left, close the left and breathe out through the right. Just in your own timing, breathe in through the right, close the right and breathe out through the left. And just repeat another couple of cycles in your own timing. So do one more cycle. So I'd like you to finish by breathing out through your left. And then just breathe normally. And if you notice, hopefully, during the day, we either breathe often through our left nostril or our right nostril. Hopefully now you feel like you're breathing from the tip of your nose equally through both. And that means that we've balanced the yin and the yang, the masculine, the feminine, those two channels. So now we're just going to go into a short meditation just to come into contact with the earth and to ground our energy using meditation to begin with. So just close your eyes. You want to be upright, but without being rigid. And I want you to imagine that you're sending roots, you're sending an energetic connection down through your feet into the ground underneath the building in which you are. So there's a point under the ball of the foot in the center of your foot. It's the kidney point in reflexology, but it's also where we find the chakras in our feet. So imagine you're sending down roots through that point, right down deep into the earth, connecting with her energy, connecting with our planet. And at the same time, I want you to send down a connection through your base chakra, Muladhara. So the very base of your body, very base of your spine, under the perineum, you send roots down into the earth. And just spend a few moments building that connection. And you'll know when it's working when your mind starts to clear. You start to feel more in touch with things. And now we're going to come into this present moment. And we'll do that by focusing on one or two of the senses. So to begin with, just feel your body sitting, standing, and become aware of the clothes on your skin. Be aware of the touch of your hands if they're touching. And now let your awareness move to your hearing. And just let sounds come into your awareness. So just let this moment be as it is. And feel that connection to this moment. Because when we come into the present moment, we naturally ground our energy. And now take your awareness to your breath. Just be aware of the breath coming into your body. Be aware of the breath leaving. Feel your body begin to relax as you breathe a little deeper each cycle. And just feel like you're opening a channel right down through the very center of your body, beginning in the space between your sternum, your breastbone, and your spine. Feel like there's an opening in your heart center, creating a space for the breath, for the energy to flow. And as you breathe, you're slowly opening a channel down through the center of your body, all the way to the base chakra. So you have opened that channel so that you're grounded through all of your energy centers down into the earth. Now just keep a gentle focus on the breath. And you will find that you go into a quiet place, a place that is peaceful. And that you are able to step back from the thoughts that will still run in your mind. But it's as if they're just coming in, moving through and passing by. I want you to imagine that you're standing on the bank of a river, feet firmly grounded into the riverbank, into the earth. And as you breathe, you're just gently watching the water flow by with the current. And this is like watching the thoughts in your mind. So the thoughts come down on the river current. They pass by and they pass on by. And you stay grounded on the riverbank with a gentle focus on the breath that keeps you there. Now, if you find a particularly enticing thought grabs your awareness, your attention, it's as if you've jumped into the river and you're going downstream with that thought, following a train of thought. As soon as you realize, just come back to the riverbank, come back to the breath, and just let the thought go. It's the coming back to the breath, to the riverbank, that's important. The fact that you jumped in the river does not matter. To be kind with yourself. And now let that image dissipate. And take a nice deep breath in and just come back into an awareness of your body. Slowly opening your eyes when you're ready. And just notice how you feel. So already we have aligned your energy, opened those channels and grounded your energy just in a 10-minute little exercise. So now what I want to do is talk a little bit about grounding. So if you're watching the recording and you want to pause and go and get a cup of tea, now's a good time. Okay. Okay, what does being grounded mean? Being grounded means, excuse me, I'm just going to stop this because I've got an extra. I'm going to do that again. I've got an extra something going on there. Ah, that's better. So what does being grounded mean? It means that we connect our energy, our subtle energy that moves through the body in meridian lines, that is found in our aura and comes in through our chakra from the world. We connect that with the energy of the earth, our planet. And when we do this, we connect naturally into an energy source that nourishes us. We are part of this planet and its ecosystem, and we are meant to be connected to the earth. And I think when we've become very technologically advanced and we live in cities and we live high up in buildings, and we sometimes forget that we are part of nature, we've somehow removed ourselves from nature because of our focus, our mental focus and our mind, and we forget that especially our body and our body's health and our energy and our health of our vitality, if you like, is connected to the earth. And when we do this, we also connect to the cycles in nature. And one of the ways to keep very healthy, and I'll talk a little bit more about this, is to flow with the natural cycles. So it's when we resist that flow that we tend to throw our body out of balance. And if you want to investigate this a lot more, have a look at some of the writings on Ayurvedic medicine and the health system and the body going out of balance. But these cycles in nature, even just eating the foods that are in season at certain times of year, helps to keep our body in balance. And also on a bigger level, it reminds us we are on a planet that is spinning and spinning round the sun in relation to lots of other planets, that's in a galaxy, that's in a universe, that's there are many universes. And so it reminds us of our place in a much bigger picture in the solar system, in the cosmos, if you like. And that feeling of connection is really important in terms of being grounded. So I'll just talk briefly. It's especially important to be grounded in the autumn transition from summer to winter, because this is the one that we resist. We want to hang on to that vibrant yang masculine energy of the summer that really gives us lots of get up and go. And we're reluctant to move into the deeper, darker, more contemplative yin feminine energy of the winter, the closing down and going inward. So we need to take our directive from the trees. especially the trees that lose their leaves, because they naturally move with this transition. And even now they're starting to change. They're releasing and letting go the time that has been and moving naturally into the time that is now and the time that is coming. And if I just talk about the three gunas, so the three gunas in a yogic way of understanding the world are three energies. And you have Rajasic energy on the one hand, which is a very masculine, vibrant, get up and go, metabolic, moving energy. It's about expressing. If you were Rajasic all the time, you'd almost be manic and you would burn out and become exhausted quite quickly. Okay, it's needed, but it needs to be balanced by a tamasic energy. And the energy of tamas is a staying still, a heavier, a grounded, a contemplative, a going inward sort of energy. And these two in balance. If you've got too much tamas, you can't get moving, you can't get out of bed, you can't get going, there's no get up and go. So you can see that we need a beautiful balance, and these are like the base of a triangle. And when these two are in balance, what that enables, the apex of the triangle, what we are able to come into is an energy that we call sattva. And sattva is a profound energy of peace and calm and harmony. So in the times of the day, noon, when the sun is highest, is much more Rajasic. As we go toward the end of the day, we get more tamas energy and we want to slow down till eventually we go to sleep. And the two times of the day where there is the most sattva, this peaceful, deeply meditative, contemplative energy that is so nourishing, is sunrise and sunset, which is the reason why many people meditate at these times. So those two energies, when in balance, enable you to experience more sattva all the time, to choose to be in a state of grace and peace, even though you're still doing what you need to do in the world, but you're not Rajasic, you're not got a mind that's overwhelmed and going crazy. You're doing it from a place of sattva, where the tamasic and the Rajasic energies are in balance. And so if we don't, summer is very Rajasic and winter is very tamasic. And so if we don't move beautifully, naturally from summer to winter through this transition time of autumn, we get an imbalance and we wind up often too much Rajasic energy, and the body will flip the other way, and it will force us to stop and build up our tamas, and that will be exhaustion, adrenal burnout, a cold, a flu, something that puts you in bed and puts you out of action for a while or for as long as it takes to rebalance. So really, if we can gently move our balance between these two energies, we don't need the body to do that. It helps to keep us healthy and our immune system healthy. This time of year, and right now, we are in the sign of Virgo, which is the sign of the earth and the very nurturing feminine mother energy of the Mother Earth. Virgo also rules our connection to the earth and our feeling of guardianship and love for our planet. So this is a very important time to be grounded and to be part of nature and to revere her and go out into nature. So when we're grounded, because of this connection to the planet and this connection to the cosmos, it gives us a much more expansive focus rather than being narrowly self-absorbed. And the self-absorption, when it becomes completely out of balance, is the self-absorption of fear. So fear narrows us down, and love is expansive and gives us this much greater focus. So being grounded helps us not to be pulled into the overwhelming fear, doubt, worry, anxiety attacks, panic attacks, depression. Okay, it helps us to keep the perspective. It also connects us through our feet, through those chakras I talked about, to the flow of energy. And this enhances our natural life force energy and the amount of prana and chi that can come into our body. And this interpenetrates and gives our physical body life and vitality and health. It gives that glow from within. And it also really strengthens the immune system. So when the energy is flowing, everything tends to be healthy. Our organs are not under stress. They can function well. The immune system functions well. The other thing that being grounded does is it balances our base or root chakra, Muladhara. And the root chakra is very much, when it's in balance and when we feel connected, we feel safe. There's something profound about being connected to the earth that makes us feel safe. And this is because the earth provides the resources for our basic survival needs. And there's a feeling that we are in touch with that. We're in touch and connected to what's important. We feel secure and that we belong. And this belonging is really important for our mental and emotional health. So it's tribal, it's very, very fundamental. So we belong to the planet, we belong to this solar system. We have found our place in the greater scheme of things. And that trust, word trust here is very important, because unless you are grounded and have a strong, balanced base chakra, it's very hard to trust. And moving on from that, when the base chakra is grounded, I'm going to jump to this last point here. If your base chakra is not grounded, so there's you feel insecure, you don't feel a sense of belonging to yourself, belonging to the planet, to the cosmos. You don't trust that your needs will be met. Maybe there's fears and doubts around abundance and money. This sort of thing comes into the base chakra. It means that you cannot open and work with the higher chakras spiritually if your base is not grounded. Okay, it's very difficult. People are all up in their head, reading a lot of spiritual information and knowledge, but to actually live it, you have to be grounded. People who are grounded, we find attractive. Okay, we just have an innate sense that they are rock solid, that they can be trusted, that we feel safe with them, we feel secure with them, because they're in touch with what's important. In a family, there'll be someone who grounds the family. In an organization, there'll be someone who grounds the organization. Good leaders are grounded. They can still work up in the higher centers, but they're fundamentally grounded. And sometimes if a leader is not grounded, if they're very much an ideas person up here, they need a second person who grounds them. You will have people in your life that you'll describe as your rock. People who, when they leave, you feel like you're all over the place and you've lost your connection. So if you're like me, I'm an air and fire sign. I need to really ground my energy because my natural energy is off. Okay, it's off. So I know that to stay healthy and to function well, I need to be grounded. And that's why I practice the things I'm going to teach you to ground my energy. And this works on something called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And Maslow's hierarchy is like a triangle. And what it says that if your base needs for survival are not met, if your needs for feeling safe and belonging are not met, if your fundamental emotional and physical needs are not met, you can't learn, you can't self-actualize, you can't work up in the higher parts of that pyramid, that hierarchy of needs. So for example, children don't learn if they haven't had breakfast, if they don't feel safe in school or safe with their teacher, if their environment is cold. Do you know what I mean? We need these fundamental needs, and this is grounding. This is the base. This is that base of the pyramid. Okay, and I just a note there that this pandemic that we have and are experiencing is really challenging our base needs, our survival needs. It's really challenging Maslow's hierarchy at the very lowest level. We don't know if we can trust our leaders. We don't know. There's so much uncertainty. We don't know what challenge is going to come next. We have a threat of a health. We have a health threat in the virus. We have threat to our livelihood. And so this is why you're seeing behaviors where people are not lifting up always into their very best versions of themselves because their fundamental needs are not being met. Now, there are examples of countries in the world where the leadership and the government are meeting those base needs, and people are clear about what's happening. They know they're in it together. They feel like they belong and they're working with it together, and they're functioning at a much higher level, and the fear is not as great. They can move up into the higher centers, into love. So when we're grounded, it connects us to our physical body. Because in the West especially, we spend too much time thinking. Okay, we spend too much time up in our head, and the energy, if you like, is all up here, and our mind is in our aura, if you like. Okay, we have our mind energy. Our brain is like a receiver, but the mind energy is in our aura, and then we can connect to like a universal mind when we bring through bigger ideas and understandings. But it's all up in this part of our being. And too much mind work means we get very lightheaded and we start getting out of touch with things. We don't make decisions that are practical, or we start theorizing, but there's no experiential, pragmatic, practical use for that. And one of this point here, one of these sort of deeper esoteric teachings is that we are here to spiritualize matter. So matter is anything that's physical, okay, has a denser vibration. Spiritual energies have a much lighter, higher vibration. And we are here to bring those spiritual energies down and ground them in the earth. And this is where a lot of the teachings about bringing heaven onto earth, or realizing heaven on earth. And we can't do that if we're not grounded. We can't do that if we're up in our thinking. We've got to come into our body. And so being grounded brings you into touch with your physical vehicle. You are a higher being, a soul who has a physical vehicle and a body. And quite often we forget that. We neglect our body and we completely forget to look after that vehicle. And our body has an intuitive wisdom. It's talking to us. It's giving us information all of the time. And we cannot be connected to that intuitive wisdom if we're not grounded. Okay, that gut feel, that just knowing something is right for you, knowing a direction. People are up here trying to make decisions. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Ground your energy. Your body, your gut, your feeling will tell you what's right. And so we get sort of too much up here. We need to bring our energies down. And the other thing it does, and what we experienced in that meditation, is it brings us into the present moment. So when you're grounded, you're mindful. And in the present moment, the fears and doubts from the past and the projected worries into the future don't exist. In this moment, we are just here. There's no fears, there's no worries. We're here. We deal with what's here and now. And in this moment is where we develop an acuity, a beautiful ability to discriminate, to have perspective, and to have a very keen awareness. And this is when people are in the present moment, they can make big decisions, they can know what's right, they can make quickly, and they're clear, they're calm. There's no dithering around. Okay, they can act. People in a crisis, often a crisis will bring us right into the present moment, and you'll be surprised what you can do in that moment because you're not focusing on the past or the future, you're here. Children are very in the present moment, and that's why they have so much more energy than us. They are naturally more grounded. So just moving on to some of the actual health benefits. So science recognizes very much now that when you're grounded, there are certain health benefits. And one of the things that they've found, science recognized that we take electrons up from the earth into our body. So that's brilliant. They've sort of caught up with some of the more esoteric Eastern teachings, and they're bringing these knowledges together, often different wording, but the fundamental concepts are the same. So there's lots of studies that support a reduction in stress and pain through grounding. So many people who have chronic pain, they get outside, they get in touch with nature, and it reduces the pain. And this seems to be because it has an effect of decreasing inflammation in the body. Okay. It also reduces something called free radicals in the body. So you can have these things called free radicals that combine with excess oxygen and cause cell damage. And they believe it might be partly involved in the initial damage that causes the damage to the DNA in the cancer cells. Free radical damage is definitely what causes, say, cells to age. Free radical damage is thought to cause the initial buildup of plaque on the arteries and heart disease. So free radical damage, when we take antioxidants, they reduce free radical damage. So they remove that oxygen so that reaction can't happen. So grounding acts like a vitamin. It's like taking antioxidants. Okay, it's natural for us. It reduces our inflammation, and it seems to be also that it increases the blood flow and lymphocytes and neutrophils and things in the blood that reduce that inflammatory response. So in this way, grounding really improves your immunity, and especially seems to be good. The studies support that people who have autoimmune conditions, where the immune system has become too overreactive and it's attacking your own body cells, it seems to calm that down. It seems to, and from a deeper point of view, an autoimmune condition is very much challenging your self-love, okay? Challenging how well you're looking after yourself, where you're placing yourself in priorities. There's often tied up with all sorts of emotional things that have gone on in your life, especially your childhood. And so grounding opens us up to self-love and all of the health benefits of that. It definitely improves your sleep. Okay, and when you improve your sleep and the quality of your sleep, that improves the function of your whole body. It improves the mental and emotional health because it clears your mind. When you bring your energy down, it clears your mind. So if your mind's been in overload, whizzing around, overstimulated, overwhelmed, too many things going on, you ground your energy, and it's like, okay, now I can think. That's a priority, that isn't, that can be done tomorrow. That's grounded, clear, concise, precise. It also, so it interrupts the flow of negative, stressful, overwhelming thoughts, giving that peace of mind. So how do we ground? We're going to learn a lot about this today. Anything that connects you with nature. Now you can walk out in nature with headphones on, talking away on your phone, and there's not much connection. You have to actually be there. You have to notice. Okay, grounding works through the eyes. You notice what the birds are doing. You hear what the birds are doing. You notice the change in the trees. You're noticing what's going on. So you've got to be there. So walking what I'd call mindfully. If you've got headphones on, you're listening to the music, you're kind of detaching yourself. So there's got to be a connection. And if you can be barefoot, because then those chakras can just soak up that chi, that energy. Barefoot in any natural water, so paddling in the sea, in a river, walking on wet, dewy grass. And, you know, we know this. It can help just, for example, to turn your shower to cold at the end will help to ground, because you're really in your body when you do that, okay? Qigong, Tai Chi, and yoga all have specific exercises for grounding. Any kind of gardening grounds your energy, or growing your own produce, a connection with the earth, caring for animals grounds you. A lot of people, they can have a really stressful day and they just go out and play with the dog. They cuddle a rabbit, they pat their horse. They're suddenly just taken out of their head and connecting with nature. Eating root vegetables, especially this time of year. So in autumn, it's natural to start to eat the root vegetables, to make soups, so you eat what's in season, especially if it's freshly grown. The sooner it gets from the earth into your body, the better. You can buy especially people who sleep higher up in their house or several floors up, you can buy on the internet. I don't know if they work. They claim you can buy sort of grounding cables that ground your bed down to the earth. It's sort of like earthing your sockets in your house, if you like. You can buy mats you put under your mattress. And some people have found these to make a big difference to how well they sleep. Different positions of your bed in your room from a feng shui point of view can ground your energy. Sleeping on the earth when you're camping. Sleeping on the lower floor of your home. Some people find that grounds their energy and they reap the benefits. So that is all the theory. So enough theory. What we're going to do now is we're going to do some practice. Okay, so I'm going to take you through some Qigong exercises, some yoga that's particularly powerful for grounding. And at the end, I'm hoping that, see, all this talking I've been doing, your energy will have come back up here. So we need to bring it down. So just notice what's going on with your energy. Right. So we just start moving. So we have a gentle warm up. You're just shaking into your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders. Give your arms a nice swing. Give yourself a pat on the back. Just getting some movement. And notice your feet. So I want you during this session, especially today, to be very aware of your feet and the connection of your feet down through the floor. Okay, so we're coming into an awareness of your body. You will be noticing now, just rolling your shoulders. You may not have noticed before. You may have some tension in your shoulders. You're like, oh yeah. And rolling them forward. And then pick them up. And as you breathe out, push down through the floor with your intention. So feel your feet. Lovely. And again. Excellent. Circling your hips. And again, notice that when our feet are nice and grounded, our movement is we feel much more stable. We can move around that stable base. So circle the other way. And then just keeping your knees soft, just a gentle twist. Lovely. And then just swinging your arms. So bend, push down through the floor. And just let your arms be relaxed, almost like you're throwing them over your shoulders. But notice your feet. So I'm pushing down, I'm feeling that connection. It's giving me that energy to move. And then take your arm over your head. Stretching your body, getting it moving. And then as you take your arm across your body, plant your feet. So I'm definitely here and now. Lovely. And then come into the center, feet slightly apart, and just swing your arms. But you're just moving your knees. But again, really connected through your feet. Become aware that that strength of connection is enabling the rest of you to move. So let the movement get a little bigger. So you're opening. And let's do one more. Excellent. And just a couple of circles. Give your arms a good shake. Right up into your shoulders. Give your legs a shake right up into your hips. I want to do a Gong exercise. Well, 3 of them actually, 3 different ones. So the first one we're going to do, you have your feet apart and you're bending your knees. So I'm pushing down into the floor. Now it's really important to be relaxed through your hips, through your lower back, through your perineum. Everything is feeling very relaxed and you're feeling like you're sinking into the floor. And then what we're going to do is coming down onto your right, we're going to imagine we're pulling energy up our right leg. We move across our body and we're pushing it down the left. Then we're pulling up the left. We're moving the energy across our body. So it's just a travel, keeping your feet grounded and pushing down on the right. Then you're lifting up. So it's a nice slow movement. Relaxed, moving across, pushing down. And be aware of the energy as you do this. Across and down. We'll just do a few more cycles of this because I want you to feel the effects. So notice your feet, lovely movement across your hips and taking it down. Moving up, across and down. Let's do one more. Up, across and down. And then coming up and just standing for a moment, knees slightly bent. Just notice how clear your mind feels, how calm your body feels, and how really rooted in the ground your feet feel, almost like you've got lead boots on, okay? So the next one is one that we've done before in class. So you've got nice bent knees. You're going to just lift, very relaxed, then push down through your feet as your hands come down. Now we're going to come up again and you're going to hollow through your back. So I'm lifting my arms and I'm drawing a beautiful circle of white light surrounding my body. I'm coming through at my waist and I'm going down to the earth and I'm gathering up a big ball of energy from the earth. And then I'm imagining that I'm pouring it down through the chakras, so through those nadis that we worked with, right through the very center of my energetic self. Lovely. I'm going to do that again. So lift, push down into the earth, feel that connection. Now hollow through your back, so your whole upper body is involved. Beautiful circle of light, opening, feel your chest open. Bring your hands through, come down, gather up that big ball of energy. And this time it's coming down through the more physical part of you, the muscles, the organs, the bones. Really grounding you in connection. Now we're going to do it one more time. So arms come up, push down. hollow through your back. A lovely circle. Really open, almost arch back a little bit if you feel comfortable. Take it round, through at your waist. Big ball of energy. All that lovely abundance from Mother Earth. Let it come down to fill your aura. So take it wider. You're filling your whole energy field, your aura, with that lovely earth energy. Profoundly feminine, nurturing energy. Lovely. Now notice what's going on in your feet. Notice how clear your mind is. And hopefully, after what we've done so far with the breathing and the meditation, already you're feeling very aligned vertically. So you feel like I've put you back together. Lovely. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move into working with Tadasana. Now Tadasana is a yoga posture that powerfully grounds our energy. But just before we do it, we're going to combine a little bit of Qigong and yoga. Okay? So just as you stand here, actually first, let's come up on our feet. Let's do it this way. So looking at a point on the floor that's not moving, come up on your toes. Get your balance. Keep looking at that point. Imagine you're looking right down into the earth, coming up on your toes, and then pulling your ribs right up out of your hips. And then lower your heels. Bring your arms and shoulders down, but keep that lovely alignment through the center of you. So relax your shoulders, soften your knees, feel that connection. Okay. And then pull your chin back if it's come forward. Close your eyes, and I want you to imagine that you are breathing in through little gaps under your toes. You're breathing along the sole of your foot, and you're breathing out through a gap in your heel. And we're just going to do 7 cycles. So you're breathing the energy up from the earth into your toes, along your foot, breathing back down into the earth through your heel in a beautiful cycle. So just do it 7 times in your own timing. Remember, energy follows thought. So as you imagine, the energy is following. Lovely. And just feel how strongly connected you're grounded now. I feel like I'm in quicksand. Okay, I can hardly lift my feet. So I want you to just gently rock forward and backwards, still keeping your feet flat, but being aware of what it feels like when your feet are grounded and you can still move. So circle on your feet, but keep that feeling of being grounded. And just notice how calm you feel, how strong, how empowered. And let's go back the other way. So that's just an example of doing Tadasana, or doing the preparation for Tadasana while using Qigong to ground. So what I want you to do, I want you to come into the center, equally balanced left and right over those 2 points under the ball of your foot, and just close your eyes for a moment. So you're a mountain. It doesn't get more grounded than a mountain. Think of the base of a mountain. It's like a pyramid, like a triangle. The base is the main connection with the earth. I talked about the balance of those Rajasic and those Tamasic energies. A mountain is a perfect example. You have movement, but you have rock solid stability. And then coming up to the apex of the mountain, right at the top of the mountain, come up to an awareness of the crown of your head. And that groundedness in the earth gives you the capacity to move into that beautiful, peaceful sattvic energy. When you stand on top of a mountain, you experience a beautiful peace that is sattva. So just let yourself experience this Tadasana in a deeper way. And this is why this posture, Tadasana, is a master posture, why it is so profoundly good for us, because it aligns and balances us. And this is its grounding effect. Because we are grounded, it means that we can lift up into those higher centers and feel that spiritual connection. Lovely. And now I want you to slowly open your eyes and come back into the room and just notice how you feel. We've already done quite a lot to ground your energy, and hopefully you're starting to feel what that feels like. And you'll know it's working when you start feeling, what's the word? Childlike, okay? Almost a bit mischievous. Okay, you have your feet apart and your knees directly over your feet. So you're feeling rock solid, grounded, and just pull a little bit of tension into your core. So relax through your pelvis, through your perineum, through your lower back, but feeling rock solid. And then we take a nice deep breath in and relax your shoulders, breathing out. So I've made the Brahma Mudra, 3 fingers under my thumb, pointing my index finger. And relax. Cross a different hand in front, breathe in. And breathe out. Breathing in. And breathe out. We'll do one more. And release your fingers and let your hands come down and just ease up. Lovely. Now we're going to do Warrior 1 and Warrior 2 because these ground our energy really strongly. So have your feet apart, turn your left foot to 90 degrees, turn your right inward to 45 degrees. Bend your knee, and you want your knee to follow your foot, but you need to be able to see your big toe. Okay, that way it's safe for your knee. My hips are still more or less facing forward, and my torso is upright. I take my arms out, relax through your shoulders, and then look along your left hand. Have a little bit of tension in your left middle finger and just focus on the fingernail, right at the tip of that fingernail. Now become aware of the connection down through your feet. So this is Warrior 1, strongly grounds our energy. If you want to be more grounded, sink and bend your knee more. Make sure you can still see your big toe. Then we're going to move into Warrior 2. So lower your arms, swivel your hips round over that front knee and take your arms up. Okay. So you can look forward or you can look up, whichever is comfortable for your back. You're sinking down into the earth, but the heart energy is going up through your arms. So the grounded connection is enabling the heart to lift. So that fact that you're so grounded is what enables the courage. It enables the heart to open. And then lower your arms, pushing up with this knee. Once you've taken the weight off, then you can turn your foot and close. Lovely. Let's do the other side. So Warrior 1 and 2 to the right. So turn your right foot to 90 degrees, turn your left foot into 45. Bend your right knee, make sure it follows your foot and you can see your big toe. You're sinking down into the earth. Take your arms out, lift through your torso, relax through your shoulders. Little bit of tension in your right middle finger and just focus on the end of the fingertip. Just taking your awareness, but being very aware of sinking down into the floor. Lovely. Now drop your arms, turn and swivel over that front knee. Take your arms up. So the fact that you're pushing down into the floor enables that heart energy to fly. Lovely. And then lower your arms. Push up with this thigh. Turn your foot and close. Namaste. So the warriors ground our energy really strongly. Now what I want to do is I want to do Trikonasana, just a normal, what we call an extended lateral triangle. But I want to do it in a way that particularly grounds our energy. So have your legs quite wide, okay? Again, left foot to 90 degrees, right foot into 45. Take your arms out, and what we're going to do is I'm going to shift my rib cage. So I'm going to do that. So from here, I've just shifted my rib cage to the left. Then I'm going to take my arm down, engage your core, and I'm going to take this arm directly up. So I'm not going right down here forward. I'm staying in the same plane. So it's a different way of doing the triangle. And then if you want more, turn your thumb out and take your arm directly over your head. So you're not taking it forward, it's directly over your head. And be very aware of the connection of your feet, of the connection of the base chakra down through the floor into the earth. And then lower your arm, bend this knee, and come up slowly. It shifts a lot of energy when we do it this way. Turn your foot and close. And then we'll do Trikonasana on the other side. So you want your right foot to 90 degrees, your left foot to 45. So there's a beautiful alignment between your heel and the arch of your foot. You take your arms out, so I'm lifted through my ribs, but my shoulders are relaxed. I move my rib cage to the right. And then I'm just coming down. So I'm not coming down far, but it is a strong stretch through this side of the body. And this is what's really good for your immune system. If it's too strong, just lower your arms so that your hands on your hip, and you can have a slight bend on that knee if the knee is unhappy straight. Don't lock it. If you want more, turn your thumb out and take that arm over your head. Engage your core and breathe. Lovely. Lower your arm, bend your knee, push up slowly, turn your foot and bring them together. Lovely. So another triangle that's really strong for grounding is the beam, because we're actually down on the floor. So you're going to be on your knees. So if you need something under your knees, and what you want is this front knee and your toe to be in alignment, but your body is upright. So I'm lifted through my torso. Lovely. You're going to take whatever leg is out to the side, that arm comes under, the other arm goes over towards your straight leg. Engage your core and breathe. Excellent. Then come down and take your hand down level with your knee and take this arm right over your head. Such a good posture to do in the autumn. Really helps you to move from summer to autumn, naturally embracing that change. Then lower your arm. Now do come up slowly, because you may not realize it's a very powerful posture. Lovely. Let's swap over. So again, knee and big toe in alignment, body's nice and upright, so I'm lifted through my torso. Take this arm under, and then just bending toward your straight knee. You won't be able to go very far. And then coming down, place your hand in line with your knee, And take your arm over. Beautiful stretch. Lovely. Keep breathing. Just releasing, allowing that energy to flow. Then lower your arm, come up slowly, very slowly. Okay, I think we'll just come down into the child before we go into our next posture, just to let that energy calm down. So have your knees quite wide so that you open across your lower back. And just coming down into the child, or if you're not comfortable on your forehead, one fist on top of the other. And just relaxing and letting the energy calm down in your body. Lovely. Now we're going to do a posture now, the last strong posture, because I know I'm shifting a lot of energy. The downward dog helps to ground. Now, the downward dog helps to ground if you are focused on your feet and your hands and the connection with the earth. So obviously your base chakra is lifted, and that's helping to form a triangle. Okay, you notice there's a lot of triangles coming into this workshop. It's no coincidence. So just that little bit of a change of emphasis in the downward dog. If you're not comfortable to do the downward dog, I suggest you do the dolphin as an alternative. So I'll just show you the dolphin. So you clasp your hands and you just lift, relaxing through your head. So that is the dolphin, which is not quite as strong if you're not so comfortable to do the downward dog. If you want to do the downward dog, have your hands directly under your shoulders, your knees apart. You're going to tuck your toes under and lift your hips high up into the air. Take your feet just slightly more than hip width apart. You're going to go up on your toes and push your hips high, and then rock back on your heels, bringing your head gently between your arms without forcing. Now focus on the connection of your hands and your feet. So feel like you're breathing in the earth's energy up through your feet, up through your legs to your tail, and you're breathing out down through your back, through your hands. And you're cycling that energy. So it's going down into the earth and coming back up through your feet and back down through your hands. Just breathe in your own timing, but with your mind, feel that connection. Lovely. And then I want you to come down into the other posture that powerfully grounds your energy, and that is the crocodile. Just before you do, a word about the downward dog. The reason when you do the downward dog that you feel that it clears your mind is its grounding effect. It does shift a lot of energy up through the chakras, but because it's forming that bridge, that triangle shape, it helps to clear the mind and for things to come into perspective. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling unsure, the downward dog will often clear your mind, and then that intuitive understanding and guidance can just bubble up more easily. So it's a very powerful posture for that. So now coming down into the crocodile. So lying on your floor, have your feet apart, and if you can, your heels in and your toes outward. Relaxing one hand on top of the other, forehead on your hands. Now, if that's not comfortable for you, you can always place a small cushion just under your chest, and some people find it more comfortable to do it that way. or you might want a cushion under your forehead if that's uncomfortable. But the main thing is that you can relax and simply breathe. And as you breathe, breathing through your solar plexus. So when we do the crocodile, we breathe right down into our diaphragm. And I want you to feel like with each breath, you're sinking down into the floor, into the earth. And you're letting go anything that you need to let go of. So you can trust this connection with the earth. You can trust that you can let go what you don't need, and she will provide you with what you do need. So with each breath, feel like you're letting go that little bit more. So just notice if there's any tension in your body, any tension in your hips. Just let your hips sink into the floor. Allow your legs to relax. The area between your shoulder blades relaxes so that your chest can open. Allow any tension in your head and neck to just release. If it's not so comfortable with your forehead on your hands, some people prefer to place their hands on their shoulders and just rest their head on their forearms. The main thing with the crocodile is that you can deeply relax. So find a position that's comfortable for you. And now gently bring your feet together. Place your hands under your shoulders and just come up into the extended child on your way up. So have your hands quite far forward, forehead down to the floor, stretching through your spine. And coming up. You might want to have a drink at this point. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come up and we're going to do the tree, which again powerfully grounds our energy and brings us into that natural flow with the seasons that trees have. So it helps us to be flexible and adaptable while deeply rooted in the ground. And then we'll do the earth sequence as our final creme de la creme. So coming up, so we'll begin the tree. Just rest your heel against your opposite ankle. I'll move back so you can see me. So be aware of that foot connecting down into the earth. I'm just going to breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, turn your hands. Breathe out, take them forward. Breathe in and breathe out. Drop your foot and let's take the other one up. So breathing in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And again. Now, if you're comfortable to and you want to take your foot higher, gently resting, hip opening, you'll need to look at a point on the floor to keep your balance. But be very aware of that foot that connects you. Breathing in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. And take it down. Coming up. So get your balance first. Look at that point that's not moving. Notice what's happening to how you feel, especially in your mind. Let's do it one more time. So get your balance first. So you're coming into that beautiful transition flow of autumn, connecting to that energy of Virgo. Taking your energy down, starting to take it down into the roots. So your energy is starting to slow down and the body is going into a restorative phase. So not so much expressing out in the world, going inward to restore, to heal, to rejuvenate. Lovely. What I want to do now is teach you some exercises. It's Qigong. I learned it years ago from the Barefoot Doctor, who sadly has passed now, but he was very good at teaching very practical Qigong. And what these series of exercises do, they bring into balance the 4 elements within our body. So they bring into balance the earth element, which is the element that grounds us. Then the water element, which is the flow in our body, the kidneys. And then they bring into balance the liver. Okay, liver is also about being adaptable. The liver or the wood energy. So we've got earth, water, wood. And then lastly, they bring into balance, sorry, we'll do 5 actually, yeah. They bring into balance the metal. And in Chinese medicine, metal is to do with the lungs. Okay, and then we'll bring into balance the air or the heart energy. Okay, so I'll just show you this little. So when I'm practicing myself, I usually do the tree and then I do this after the tree because the two seem to work beautifully together. There's a real synergy going on. So have your feet comfortably apart. Now, there's some strange noises you can make. You can make them if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but they do give more power. Okay, so the first thing is to send those roots down into the floor, because the first one we're going to do is for the earth. And you're going to just make a fist and you're going to go joo, joo, and I'm pushing with tension, so I'm sinking down it. Joo, joo, joo. And then I imagine everything that I need and want in my life coming down in abundance. So I'm accepting that gratefully, easily. I'm open to that. And if you just notice how after that, how grounded you feel. Okay, now we're going to work on balancing the water element. And the movement is joo, 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 joo. And then there's just a gentle sway as I imagine being supported by that flow in life. So I'm just moving around that already grounded energy. Lovely. Then we're going to balance the wood element. And this is the liver. This one's really effective if you're feeling irritated. And it's shh, shh. So it's a shh sort of a sound. Shh, shh, And then I imagine myself like a tree, deeply rooted, but swaying in the breeze. So I am flexible and adaptable with what life brings. But because I'm grounded, I can cope with anything that life brings. Lovely. Now we're going to do the metal, the lungs. And it's so I'm circling and making a sort of a noise. And then I finish, because the heart and the lungs are very much about attachment, I finish by imagining I'm cutting any cords of attachment. So it's a sort of like swords. So the metal element is very good for releasing attachment. We'll do that one more time. And then just for a moment, I stand and surrender with the feeling that the universe is on my side. Everything and everybody helps me. Okay. Now we're going to balance the air element, and this is to do with the heart. And it's home. So I'll just show you, it's a home. So I'm still grounded. Home. Home. And I add a Teresaism. I add the Aum chant when I do this. So I go Aum. So it's Aum. Aum. Open your hands. Aum. And then what I do again, this is my combining Tai Chi, Qigong and yoga. Okay. I have my left hand open and my right hand down. And this is this balance between receiving and giving. Because when we are grounded, we are open to receiving, and because we are open to that abundance, we naturally give, and we come into that flow that's natural in nature. So you circle outward, bringing the energy in to receive, and then you circle out with the palm down, giving. So there's a receive, come into the solar plexus, the heart, there's a give. And I can sway with this because I do this all the time, but you will get a beautiful movement going. So I'm receiving into my heart, I'm giving out from my heart, and they are balanced in an equal measure. And you just do that one until you start to feel, the best feeling I can describe is joyful. Okay, it means your heart is full, your cup is full. Lovely, and then bring them together. So that little sequence, doing the tree, then working on the 5 elements to balance them, working with the Aum to really open the heart and connect with a universal life force energy and a spiritual force, and then being open to receiving and giving, coming into that flow. I found, I've probably been working with this over the last 15 years, that little sequence, it's very powerful at bringing you into a very strong place to go forward out into your day. So it's something you can practice until it's second nature. You can make the sounds or not make the sounds. The key is the intention. So even if you forget the exact movement, if your intention is to balance the wood element, if your intention is to open the heart energy, that's what will happen. And you do it with your will, so it's strong. I'm feeling strong when I'm doing it. I found that to be an amazing little sequence that has evolved all by itself. So what I would like to do now is to do a nice relaxation. Now, anytime you do the relaxation, so if you're lying on the earth, it will ground your energy. So you can lie in Savasana on your back, or you can lie in the crocodile on your front, but ideally you're lying on the earth. And the more parts of your body that can be open and connected to the earth, the better. So you want to be warm and comfortable. You might want to put another layer on, and we will have a nice relaxation just to really ground all of this lovely energy into our body. So get yourself comfortable, have another drink if you need to. So when I take this relaxation, because I am not lying on the floor as I teach you, I always connect my base chakra to the earth. So that's just like we did right at the beginning. So if you were doing the relaxation, if you weren't feeling like lying on the floor, you were doing it sitting up. The key is to make that energetic connection down through your base chakra, right down into the earth under the building. So get yourself comfortable. If you're lying on your back, you want your body to be as open as possible. So this is why we tend to have our legs slightly apart and turn your feet outward if you can, because that's a nice, that opens the base chakra and means that you ground more fully in the relaxation. Then just have a little bit of space under your arms, just so that the energy can flow. And ideally you want your lower back in contact with the floor. We ground through the base chakra, but the second chakra, the sacral, is also involved. So you want to lift up your pelvis and just lower it down so your lower back is in contact with the floor. If you had a little bit of a sore back, you could bend your knees, and the key is that both your feet and your lower back are in contact with the floor. If you're lying in Makrasana, again, you want to have your legs apart with your heels turned in and your toes turned out, and that again will open the base chakra. You want to have your solar plexus and as much of your torso in contact with the floor as you can. So you want to relax across your shoulders, find a comfortable position for your hands, one hand on top of the other, forehead on your hands if you can. And let's begin with some deep yogic breathing. Now, like the alternate nostril breathing that we did at the beginning, deep yogic breathing grounds your energy because you're breathing right down into the very base, the hara, right down into these lower centers. So as you breathe in, take the air down through that channel we opened in Tadasana, all the way into your belly. And then as you breathe out, pull your tummy back towards your spine, releasing the air back along that channel, breathing out through your nose or your mouth. Now, if it's comfortable to breathe through your nose, or breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. You get more oxygen exchange when you breathe through your nose. And in terms of balancing the Ida and the Pingala, the nadis that terminate in your Ajna chakra in your forehead, the nose helps to bring that into balance. Breathing through your nose. So breathing in. And as you breathe out, feel like your body is sinking down into the floor. So as you breathe in, you're feeling nice and open to change, the energy of transition. And as you breathe out, there's a real feeling of just surrender and sinking down deeply into the floor. So continue just focusing gently on the breath, feeling your body release with the out-breath, letting your body open with the in-breath. So as you open, so you can sink down deeper, releasing. And that focus on your breath will take you into a very quiet place inside. It's like stepping onto the bank of the river like we did in the meditation. You step back from your thoughts and you just let them pass by. Let them be background movements in your mind. The focus is on your breath and an awareness of your physical body as it relaxes. See if during the relaxation you can be very deeply relaxed physically, but still aware. So you're still conscious, you're still listening. You haven't dropped into unconsciousness or sleep. So keep the focus on the breath. And we're just dropping down through different brainwave states here. During your yoga, you probably already dropped down into more an alpha brainwave state. Maybe a little bit of beta as you were concentrating, but alpha is more relaxed, more creative, more expansive. And as you breathe nice and deeply, we're just dropping down into a theta brainwave state. Theta brainwave state nourishes your brain and your nervous system, the neural tissue. It rejuvenates, prevents age-related changes in your brain. It's a profoundly healing state to be in. In this state, your body intuitively heals very quickly. And it's also a state in which you have access, you bring the unconscious and the conscious mind, the veil between them is much finer. It's a state in which you can be very aware of things you might not normally be aware of. It's a profoundly healing state, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. This is the state you pass through as you fall asleep. So you only spend a few moments in it. But it's a deeply healing place. And we're just going to consciously and purposefully spend more time in this state. So deeply relaxed, but still listening and aware. And you may even find that your awareness develops a clarity and acuity. And this is a state that children spend most of their time in, especially when they're playing freely. So it is a state that gives us the feeling of freedom. And now in this beautiful theta brainwave state, I want to take you into your creative imagination. And I want you to visualize, or if you're not very visual, try and feel what I'm talking about. So imagine that you're lying on the earth in a favourite place in nature. Now, ideally, it would be a place quite close to where the water meets the land, because this is where the energy of prana is very high. In science is where there's lots of negative ions, which are very good for your health. So maybe you're at the beach and you're lying on the sand, far enough away from the waves not to get wet, but you're still quite close to that border. Or maybe you're by a river and the nice soft grass, or maybe you're by a lake. And it might be an actual place on this beautiful planet that you have been to. And it's a deeply peaceful place, and there's nobody else there. And I just want you to create this place in your mind. So bring in the visual. What can you see? The sun is shining. But even more importantly, let's bring in what you can feel. So feel the earth under your body. Feel the strength of that connection. Notice how safe you feel. Know that you belong. Be aware of the feeling of the sunshine on your skin. And now turn your awareness to the sounds in this special place. Maybe you can hear waves. Maybe it's a pebbly beach and you can hear the waves tinkling over the stones. Maybe it's a stream or a river and you can hear the music as the water plays over stones and rocks. Maybe you can hear birds, the birds in a wood, seagulls. You can smell the earth. Our sense of smell grounds us. Just smell that wonderful earthy smell. If you're by the sea, smell the salt, taste the salt. But most of all, as you breathe, just feel yourself sinking into a deep connection with nature so that you are part of what is going on. You're not separate from it. Yes, you can observe it, but you are part of it. The energy that is flowing through the natural world, the energy that is moving and flowing through you. I want you to feel like you're breathing with the earth. So as she breathes in, you breathe out. As she breathes out, you breathe in her wonderful energy. So there's a beautiful exchange going on, an exchange of prana, of subtle energy, of life force energy between you and Gaia, our beautiful planet. As you breathe with her, open your heart to your feelings of love for this planet. Open your heart to experience the gratitude for all the beauty in this planet. For the blessings, for the resources that feed and clothe and nourish us, keep us alive. For the sun that shines and the moon that reflects. For the beautiful cycles in nature. For the day and the night. For those changes in energies. So that vibrant Rajasic energy when the sun is shining, and that contemplative, deeply nourishing energy, Tamasic energy, when we slow down and rest. And when these two are in balance, that opportunity to lift up into the Sattvic energy that brings a profound peace, a highly spiritual energy of connection. And now I want you to imagine that wherever you are, it is still warm, but the day is coming to a close. And the sun is starting to set. So it is moving down the horizon to the horizon. And you're in that beautiful time, that peaceful time of the sunset. And maybe you can see the sun setting. Maybe in your beautiful place in nature, you have decided to sit up and sit on the earth and just watch the sun set. And feel a beautiful calm descend upon your whole being as that sun slowly sets. A relinquishing of the day. A relinquishing of all that's no longer needed. So a surrender and a letting go. Feeling yourself deeply connected with the earth under your base. So the sounds have quietened down now. There's still the sound of the water moving, but the birds have gone to bed. Our beautiful planet is tilting. I want you to go into a deep place. Now, I want you to imagine that you are nestled deep under the earth. You're in the womb of this planet. And it is a dark place, but not a scary place. It is a very safe place. And when you go deep into the Mother Earth energy, you are restored, nourished, brought back to balance. Every fiber, every cell in your body calms down. There's a deep sense of intuitive peace. You might even find that some pearls of wisdom bubble up in your awareness as you calm right down. I'm just going to invite you to rest in this deep place in the earth, just for a few more moments. Feeling her energy restoring yours. And now slowly I want you to imagine that you're coming up out of the earth. You're still connected, but it is the morning. You are deeply refreshed. And you come into the energy of the sunrise. So the sun, a new day is dawning and the sun is rising slowly up over the horizon. And as you sit up in your beautiful place in nature, you are watching the colours in the sky. And you are filled with that blissful peace of this sattvic time of day. The birds are singing their song of celebration. You can hear the water moving. You feel deeply connected to the cycle of day and night, the cycles of nature, and the energy that flows when we come in contact with our base and we ground our energy. And remember, we are part of this planet. So just let your heart open in awe as the sun rises, so your heart bursts open. And you feel deeply restored, calm and clear. And just for a few moments, just enjoy this beautiful sattvic energy where everything is in balance. And now slowly let the images fade. And just come back into an awareness of your body, lying in the room. Very slowly introduce some movement, so maybe wrists and ankles, fingers and toes. Just moving, getting that flow moving through your physical body again. Maybe stretching your arms over your head, waking up your spine and getting that energy flowing. And then slowly rolling over onto your right hand side, resting there for a moment, supporting your head. Just taking your time. Taking the time it takes. And slowly coming up to sitting. Take a nice deep breath in. Circle your arms. And again. And one more. Namaste. So this is what it feels like to be grounded and connected. So go and have a beautiful day. And anytime you notice you are not grounded, I've given you lots of tools today to bring you back to that connection.